I want to have a quality life while I'm still alive.
Oh, I despise it. I would never.
Step it up, grandmas. We're going. Let's talk about it.
Take her to France. You need to go. You need to go.
I'll go to the Tractor Supply parking lot and sit with a box of free kittens.
I don't want to have to like think about, oh my God, is my knee going to give out? Is my ankle going to hurt? Baby by baby. And we're all like,
baby by baby. And we're back. We are back. I think a little emotionally drained. Big week last week.
Yeah.
So
it was.
The girls graduated from high school.
They did. They graduated, and then and it was sort of delayed gratification because they delayed the graduation date, which I thought was so like anticlimactic.
No, it was a little bit. So they had an awards night. We filmed last Tuesday, and we had to like bust over to awards night. I'm putting it out there right now. I don't care if it's unpopular opinion. It could have been cut in half.
Oh.
I feel like it could have just been, and I'm not saying it because I'm bitter that I missed my Broadway show because it went too long. Maybe a little bit.
I should have given you a heads up because I remember it was like that when Alex graduated too.
The band kids should not have been in, the award shouldn't have been involved. It should have been just smarts and, you know, merit scholarships and other scholarships and big educational awards. They said the band kids already knew they won.
Yeah.
They
should have had their own award show.
Well, and they said that at all of their different like end of the year events, those kids went up and found out that they won these awards. So they should have left it at that.
Or they could have just printed it. Like here recognizing the seniors. Here are the seniors who were awarded. There's nothing wrong with just recognizing someone on a piece of paper. You don't have to say
like
it.
the Oscars.
Yes.
Like earlier today, here's who won.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
That would, I think, would have been fine.
There are so many improvements that they could have done on not just that, but the graduation. But whatever. Now I don't care.
Now you don't care. I actually am okay with the fact that it was in the high school gym.
Yeah, it was just kind of cheesy.
Yeah, but you're surrounded by school stuff.
True.
I feel like although the baseball diamond is spacious and it looks cool, I mean, it has no tie to them as a student, you know, where you're surrounded by green and yellow in an obsessive amount.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was I enjoyed that part.
Yeah.
I did.
I just hate that we were shoved in like sardines.
I know, but you know what? We didn't sit in the bleachers. We walked in and we saw that they put those folding chairs in the balcony. Chris was like, "Step it up, grandmas, we're going." We like beelined up the stairs.
We, the way that they had us enter the gym was so dumb. So like we had to a line around the high school, behind the high school, around the track. That's where I was starting.
It was insane. I get it. Like the doors open at 3:30. All right. But you have like a quarter of the town showing up and grandparents to this graduation ceremony.
And it was raining and cold.
Like you're telling me you couldn't have filtered us like through the gym to keep us out of the elements a little bit? Right. Thankfully it wasn't like a torrential downpour, just like a little misty rain. But yes, we had old people like standing in line.
And then the fact that we all were squished in like sardines, like my back fucking hurt. The next day, I felt like I worked out. And I'm like, what'd I do? Oh, I sat at graduation.
I know. Well, after we sat in the bleachers for awards night, Chris was like, I can't do that again. He's like, I'll just go stand somewhere.
Yeah.
And then when he saw those seats, I'm pretty sure he almost like pulled my mom and his mom like by their hands to make sure like we got up there and we got seats.
Well, we did bring our charger seats for graduation.
I know. That was actually
very smart.
I thought about it and then just never did it, which, you know.
But it was, I mean, I thought it was nice, the band, and at least the band and the symphony or whatever.
They sounded great.
And if they were playing at the baseball diamond, you wouldn't have heard them. So I thought that was a cool thing. And they had the singing and all that. So that was really cool. It was nice. It was just, I thought there could have been other things they could have done to make it a little jazzier.
Well, they obviously need a new PA system because I could barely understand what the kids were saying in the microphone.
Yes.
I mean, I get that they're nervous and everything, but the one girl that spoke, I mean, I picked up a little bit, and it sounded like it was an excellent speech, but it was just kind of hard. Jessica Chai. Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't hear her?
Not really. Oh. And maybe it's because we were up in the balcony.
Yeah. But it still the PA should have went all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I really felt like an old person because I was like, she's talking really fast. I need her to slow down.
Who, Jessica?
Yes. Yeah. And I remember my parents saying that, like, will you slow down? I need you to talk slower. I can't understand what you're saying. And I'm like, oh my God, it's just because you're old. And now that's me.
Yes. Yes. I just heard this statistic yesterday. It was on a podcast or something. And they were talking about how women, in particular women, who are hot, like models, like model hot, can slowly speak and not speed up. And men will hang on to every word they say.
Oh, but if you're ugly?
You better speed up the talk. And they'll be like, okay. Yeah. That's how they end up in all these situations.
Well, I think that's probably actually pretty accurate. Mm-hmm. For sure.
It's kind of a good assessment.
Yeah.
How was your Memorial Day weekend?
I mean, pretty chill. I mean, we didn't go to like any like crazy picnics or anything like that. I mean, the weather was a little bit nicer yesterday. We had a barbecue out at the ranch. I mean, it was just a couple hours, nothing like super crazy. But I bought Kylie one of these like tanning pools for the backyard. Have you seen these?
No.
So it looks like a blow-up bed, but inverted so that you can fill it with water. And it just like has just enough water so that you can lay in it and you get the reflection of the water.
Cute. And then, but you're above it.
The water?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a raft. It's like a tub raft, basically.
Okay.
But the size of like a double bed.
Okay.
And it has like a pillow. So she was out there laying it. The funny thing is like the cats come out of the barn and they like put their head in there and they lap up the water and they walk away.
And I bet the water gets warm if you're on the side.
Yeah, right? So Chris was filling up his cold plunge and then he did hers and he's like, you could just be in the plunge. And I was like, no, it's stupid. That's not what she's trying to achieve.
Right.
And I planted flowers.
Oh, nice.
Sprayed weeds, super fun stuff.
Super fun.
I don't know, we just kind of did stuff around the house.
Putzed around.
Yeah. Oh, I tried making this cottage cheese flatbread. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I wanted to do it in the skillet because when you bake it in the oven, it's like 40 minutes, right? So I wanted something that was faster. And the picture on Pinterest looked amazing.
Always.
It has great flavor. It's a pancake. It basically, when you cook it...
Is it crispy?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I tried doing it on a pan on the stove. And Chris is like, let's do it on the black stone. And then we can do multiple at a time. Because I had made carnitas the night before. And I was like, well, instead of using a corn tortilla, this is going to be more protein and like no carbs. So he did them on the black stone. And he just kept going, nope, these aren't going to work. And it basically just turned out to be a pancake. So, I mean, it was a fail in the fact that the picture looked scrumptious.
Yeah.
Mine looked like first pancake theory, but
so what did you use that as? Like a sandwich?
Yeah, like a shell.
Oh, okay.
For carnitas. So
yeah.
I mean, it was okay. I mean, flavor wise, great.
Right.
It was not visually appealing that you go, oh my gosh, I can't wait to have this. Mm-hmm. But high protein, good flavor.
There you go.
So,
or you could just scoop some cottage cheese and eat it.
This actually tasted a lot better than just having cottage cheese.
Yeah.
Do you like just eating cottage cheese?
No, I despise it. I would never.
I don't mind it now. I hated it as a kid. I know we've talked about this before. So, but for newcomers to the podcast, just because my dad likes it when I talk about my childhood, and then he'll be like, I don't remember that happening. So, like I've told the cottage cheese story before, you had to finish your plate in order to get up from the kitchen table. And I hated cottage cheese so much that I would refuse to eat it. So I had to sit at the kitchen table and like the kitchen would get cleaned up.
Barf.
And then it would almost get to the point to like prove a point, like the lights would get turned off. And there I am sitting in the dark.
Well, your parents wouldn't let you get up until you ate it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, I was probably a pain in the ass earlier that day that they were really trying to prove a point.
Isn't that funny that they would use food as like a punishment?
Right? I mean, you would never do that now. Yeah. Like you wouldn't want to use food as a punishment.
Yeah, or exercise. Remember how it used to be like you're in gym class, they're like, that's it. Laps and push-ups. They're like, you shouldn't use good things as a punishment.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're completely right. But I mean, my parents weren't like healthy eaters.
Yeah.
You know, they knew what they knew, and that's all
They just didn't want you to waste it. Probably.
That was basically what it boiled down to, right? Where now I would never want to give my kids something that they didn't want to eat because I know they don't like it.
Right.
That is very different than, okay, last week you loved chicken.
Yes.
Now you're, chicken free.
Yes.
That's very, very different.
Yes.
Or, you decide that what is it when you only eat fish?
Pescatarian.
Yeah. And it's like, really? Because you had ribs last week, but now we're off the
Evie
pork.
went through that stage for a long time. She's like, I'm a polo pescatarian, which means chicken and fish only.
Oh, okay. Does she eat beef now?
Occasionally. She actually made us steak and then ate it.
Oh.
Which is wild for her.
Okay.
So for her, it's not the taste, or she doesn't have any aversion to animals or anything like that. It's the texture. She has a hard time with steak texture.
Okay.
She can eat burgers.
Oh, gotcha.
She can eat meatballs, but it's for some reason it's the texture of the steak. And I get that because for me, like duck is very chewy. I can't do duck.
Okay.
I can barely do I could never do rabbit. I had that once and it's very chewy.
Oh,
but
I don't know if I've
the
ever really-
texture of things bug me too. So
Okay.
I get that piece, but yes. So
Well-
that's how I know pescatarian.
So, but I also think when it comes to texture for something like a steak, for people, it's how rare or well done it is, right? So you like yours more
Medium.
done. Yeah. Where mine should still be mooing a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she has both options because Randy loves rare.
Yes.
And I have medium, and she still is kind of like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not for everybody.
to each her own.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I binge watched a TV show called Sirens over the weekend.
Yes.
Did
it's
you
so
watch
good.
it?
I haven't finished it, but
Okay.
it's really good.
Yes.
I feel like it's sort of the 9 Perfect Strangers scene
Okay.
where Nicole Kidman
Kidman.
was the guru.
Yeah.
There's actually a season 2 coming out.
I already started it.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's out
two
already?
episodes are
Oh,
already
wow.
out. Yeah.
Okay. Just from the perspective of what's her name? What is her name? Michaela.
Oh yeah,
On
in the
Sirens.
show. Yeah.
Is so
Yeah.
serene, but she's got some dirty past,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't finished it.
Yeah, I binged it in a weekend.
Okay.
It would be like, oh, I was blowing out my hair, so I watched an episode, or did this and I watched an episode. I was in my sauna blanket. Yeah, I think it's great. So then I immediately because there's only 5 episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
and
I'm
that's
like,
it?
okay, that sounds like, limited series type of thing. So then I Googled it because it is totally open for season 2, like the way that it ends. Like it could be a season 2. Now, do I think it's going to be as good and twisty? Yeah, maybe if the writers are talented enough, you know. But I love Kevin Bacon in this.
Oh, I do too. He's great.
Yes, it is giving me Ren McCormick vibes, and I love it.
Ren McCormick.
Footloose.
On pot.
Yes, but he grew up. You know what I mean?
And now he just smokes a lot of weed just to tolerate his life. It sounds like.
Yes. But there's in the last episode, he's in a tuxedo and he's walking down the hallway.
Oh,
and I'm
yes.
like, oh my goodness. I just wanted him to start doing the Footloose dance at the end of the show. But yeah, no, it's really good.
Okay.
I like it. Did you get caught up on Mobland?
I did. We watched
Yeah.
Mobland last night, and we watched, what was the other show? Oh, Your Friends and Neighbors. We watched over the weekend.
That show gives me
So my
anxiety.
sister-in-law, we stayed at my sister-in-law's house in Canada, and I shouldn't even say this, they pirated in from the States.
Yeah.
A lot of their stuff because they don't get it. And so they
Oh.
pirated in from Buffalo.
Okay.
I don't know how, but it's not, they don't have Apple TV there.
Well, Apple TV's just a device.
They don't get it on their, whatever. They have cable too. So we're 24.
Okay, the cable part I get.
Yeah,
but yeah.
so I don't know
if you're doing
how.
apps,
But they don't have they're different. Yeah, they're
really.
100%
So there's
different.
certain shows they wouldn't get that we would get.
Yeah.
No Hulu.
They have so many regulations. So many. So for the radio, this is a historical thing. For radio, they have to have a certain percentage Canadian content. And I think that's true with TV too, right? So
Really?
yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah. So that's why they don't get like the same shows, or they'll get like a season behind.
Okay.
Or whatever. So they pirate in live stuff.
Does Canadian content include it was filmed in Toronto, but they're saying it's New York City?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know for songs, it has to be a Canadian artist. Like, so for the radio, like if you're listening to the regular radio, and it used to be, I don't even remember. I don't know this percentage. It was like 70-30 Canadian content.
Oh.
Which is trying to promote. But there aren't that many Canadian artists in comparison to everywhere else in the world.
Did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
Yes.
When Robin Scherbatsky was a Canadian like pop star?
Yes. 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 Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So we're limited to a shit ton of hockey.
Yeah.
A lot of lacrosse. Mm-hmm. I mean, we watched the lacrosse world championship. I did not know that was a thing. I saw it on Saturday night. And the funny part is that the goalie of whatever team won, I think they're from Buffalo. They won the World Series. It's not a World, whatever it's called, of lacrosse, professional lacrosse, was my nephew's gym teacher in high school.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So is it like men's league then?
Well, it's men's lacrosse.
Yeah, but if it's your nephew's like a grown man.
Yes.
And his gym teacher is going to be even older than him.
Yeah, his gym teacher was like 40 something. And he's the goalie for lacrosse right now for the Buffalo professional team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wild. I only know this because they have TSN, which is equivalent to our ESPN.
Okay.
On 24 hours
so that's
a day.
Toronto Sports Network?
I don't even know what it stands for. Because Toronto, I mean, there's more in Canada than just Toronto. Yeah, what is TSN?
Oh, the Sports Network, as if it's the only one. Wow.
Yes.
So much Canadian intel right now.
Yeah. Do you remember Much Music growing up?
No.
Yeah.
You do that on television?
Yes.
Oh, I remember that.
Okay, so
but you can't do that. That was Nickelodeon.
But it was part of the Canadian broadcast.
Yeah. So
okay.
Much Music was Canadian's version of MTV.
Okay.
But they had different VJs.
So, but did you see that because you grew up in Michigan and you got that as well?
We got it. We got Much Music and MTV.
Okay. We didn't get that in Chicago.
I feel like there was so much crossover that it's funny because when Randy and I will talk about certain things growing up, I'll have some of the same things. But I think it's just because we're a border state.
Yeah. Do you feel that way about, oh crap, what is that band him and Lisa love?
Oh, the Tragically Hip?
Yeah.
No, I hate the Tragically
Hip. I never heard of the Tragically Hip until, I mean, Chris, I guess he listened to it. He never talked about
band,
it,
right?
Yeah.
So like 70s, 80s band.
Okay.
So like the Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah.
Were huge in Detroit when I was. Oh yeah,
they were everywhere.
But no, but like I saw them in like 1995.
Oh, gotcha.
And they were like becoming they were already kind of big in Canada.
Okay.
Coming over to the US, but just like the border. So they were like Buffalo, Detroit, like kind of around those areas. And I remember just being in Detroit and it was packed.
Okay.
Everyone knew all of the words to all the songs. And then they really blew up when they were on 90210.
Okay, yeah.
And that was later on, whatever, the 2000s.
Yeah.
And so little bands like that grew up kind of like trying to straddle both.
I know. Are they the ones that sang If I Had $1 Million?
Yes, that was their first song.
Okay. Yeah.
And they would throw Kraft Dinner, which is mac and cheese.
Kraft Dinner?
Yeah. You don't have to eat Kraft Dinner.
Oh.
But we do.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Well, like my sister-in-law does calls a hoodie a bunny hug, and a hat a toque.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. There are just few differences. Yeah. Like with Mobland, sometimes I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I feel like I need a translator.
Well, don't you use the?
Yes, but I mean when they use the slang of certain words.
Yeah.
In Ireland, right? Like so, I forgot what they were talking about last night.
Okay, but it's based in England because they go into London all the time.
They do. But they're Irish, right?
The Irish mob in England?
Okay,
yeah. Got it.
Because I think that's the Cotswolds. That's where their summer home or whatever they're escaping.
Oh,
to
when
right
they
now.
like leave
Cotswolds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I saying that right? Anyway.
I don't know. I just love it when Harry, is it Harry or Henry? Harry's wife meets up with the chick who's like, who's undercover.
Oh, Alice.
Yeah.
She's so fucked.
And she's like, I'll meet you in the village. And it looks like she's in a scene from Harry Potter, like when she's like walking in on that street in that little town. I mean, it just looks like you're in a storybook.
Yeah.
You know? I love that. She was in Downton Abbey, Harry's wife. She was a maid in Downton Abbey.
Oh, the blonde girl? What's her name? Jan.
Yeah.
It's like Jan Brady.
So what's so funny though is that she's like this modern woman who swears and everything in the show. But when she was in Downton, like she, super proper and like she was the maid that would help you get ready for the day.
Yeah. So who do you think is the rat in Mobland?
Maeve.
You think it's Maeve?
100%.
I do too. But I also was double thinking it last night and I was like, I feel like that's too obvious. Because Harry already said it. So I'm wondering if it's something a little bit more sinister. Like
the dad.
Like Jan. You know what I mean? Like something like twistier.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think Eddie's smart. It's smart enough to be
Eddie's
Eddie.
not. He's so dumb. And he can't even pretend to be dumb. Like he's that dumb.
Yeah. And I think saying it's Kevin's wife is too obvious.
Yes, because she's already involved in that other thing.
Like other scheme on the side.
With her dad.
So, I don't know. Maybe they want you to think deeper. And maybe is Maeve.
Maybe I'm thinking too deep. Maybe it's Kevin. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Or maybe it's Harry.
No, I feel like he's a lifer.
I don't know. I think he wants out. I think he's going to go work for Kat.
Oh, I don't know. So many things.
And he's going to blow up both families. So here's my prediction. Harry is behind it all. Okay. Maybe. Okay. Here's an alternate ending. And he pits the the Harringtons against Richie.
Okay.
So much so that they implode. And then he goes to work for Kat. Or he starts his own empire.
Interesting. What if it's his daughter?
She's smart, Gina.
She's wicked smart. So how about the grandma calling her out, being like a skanky little slut and was like, stay away from my Eddie.
I'll cut you with my eyes or whatever she said.
Something. It was insane.
You're deranged, lady.
I know. I hate her character.
I do
makes
too.
Me so mad.
She's such a good actress.
She's
it makes
such a
you
good
want
actress.
To hate her so much.
When you're that involved, that's another show that okay, but speaking about anxiety, I went on progesterone.
Okay. Wait. What? I'm anxious?
Well, like a show will stress me out.
Oh, okay.
Like that kind of stuff. But I feel like this has helped. I sleep
like
so
baby.
hard.
Yeah.
So hard. I take my magnesium and does yours look like a little fish egg pill?
No. What milligram?
100.
Oh, I'm 400.
Oh, okay.
So I do two 200s.
Okay.
So a little bit. I mean, they're bigger than, because I used to be on 100. I started on 100. And they are little fish eggs. And then they're a little bit bigger for the 200.
Oh, got it. Okay. So I would say I sleep so hard. And
do you dream weird?
No. I'm out. Like I am out cold.
So I have the most crazy ass vivid dreams.
Okay.
Like I wake up and I tell Randy, like I'll repeat the whole thing. And you remember them? I remember.
Oh.
They're so vivid.
Okay.
They're so vivid. Don't ask me now because I can't remember any.
Okay.
But they're very vivid.
Can you start a dream journal? And then I would love for you to like read one day.
They never make sense.
But I think that's great because then someone's going to listen to it and be like, I know what this means.
I should. They, like people say, experts say that you should get up and write in a journal as soon as it wakes you up.
Yeah.
But
okay,
then
one
I'd be
time
awake.
I dreamt in my sleep, and maybe I was like grinding my teeth or something, but I dreamt that I went to go take my retainers out in the morning and like my teeth crumbled and fell out of my mouth. So then I Googled that because I feel like this means something. Well, it means like your life is falling apart.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't know. World, do you know something?
I know.
don't know.
Your subconscious plays a big part. in
But
life and your dreams.
maybe it's like life changing because my kid's like leaving home.
Was this recently?
No, not super recently. But like the slap in the face of the empty nest is really just hit me like in the past 2 weeks. Like I could start crying about it right now.
What about it scares you?
I have not been alone like that. And I think I'm like, not that I can keep myself entertained during the day.
Yeah, at night.
It's at night that I'm gonna hate, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm not worried about like waking up and getting something done. It's after 5:30.
Yeah. You just have to plan nighttime things.
Yeah. I don't know what like what?
Pickleball.
Yeah.
Something, doing something physical.
It's funny. I was talking about
Or
it.
a craft, or like pottery, or I don't know, something.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I need to pick up another hobby like that. I'm gonna have pots, pans, hats, scarves, sweaters, gloves.
But I mean, like getting out of your house.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
When I was single and living by myself, I would go to like Barnes and Noble with a library. That's when I started to read.
Yeah.
Because I would just go and sit and like read.
Speaking of that, obviously changing the subject again. So Chris and I were chilling out on the patio. Like it was a beautiful evening to like be outside. We were on our patio. And Kylie was at work and I go, okay, well, I guess this is what a night's going to be like, you know? I go, I'm going to go get a book. Like, do you care if I sit here and read a book? And he's like, no, go ahead. So I started reading and he's on his phone. Well, then his phone went dead. So then he went into his car and got his computer. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want you working like over the weekend. And he goes, no, that's all right. We could just be boring people. We could be boring people. It's fine. You just sit there and read your book. And he's just ragging on me, right? Giving me a hard time. Well, the next day I went and worked out. And then I went and hit golf balls. Like I went to the driving range. Well, Jillian, that works for you.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, she walks up. Well, I see this girl waving to me, and I'm like, oh, great. Now I'm that old person that's staring at you.
But I don't know who you are.
I am, but I can't make out your facial features. And I'm like, hey, how are you? I'm like, where's your clubs? I'm like, are you here to hit balls? And she's like, no. She's like, Thomas and I just went for breakfast. And he's like, I'll take you to breakfast if you come and sit with me while I, hit balls. So she's like, I just have my book. I come home and I'm like, Chris, even newlyweds do it. It's
she's
fine.
a big reader.
So,
that's her favorite thing to do.
yeah. But he's like, okay, well, and maybe instead of like reading a book, like on the back patio, maybe we should just go golf. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Great. But I'm still trying to finish my one book from spring break, The Boyfriend.
Oh, you haven't finished it? Oh, it's really good.
No, I need to just finish it.
I'm reading this book, which I think I mentioned last week, The Wedding People. And now I'm like 65% done. And I kind of don't want it to end because it's so good. And I'm fascinated with this character.
Yeah.
I love female leads. I think more
When's your
than
book
male
club?
Leads. That's a good question. I don't know. June. June-ish.
Okay,
June-ish.
well, that's in a week.
Yeah. But like, yes, beginning of June sometime.
Okay. All right.
It's all dependent on like the girls in my neighborhood that have littles.
Oh, yeah.
They like to have it on a certain night when nobody has activities, and which we've all been there.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah.
Now I get to be the flexible person. It's like, whatever.
Yep.
So there's another woman or two other women that in my neighborhood who are also empty nesters, and they're like, yeah, we can just go with the flow.
Yeah.
We can come whenever.
Yeah.
And we can go home whenever because we don't have to get up early like you girls do.
Yes.
Glow Medical Spa is Mid-Michigan's premier med spa for skin rejuvenation and anti-aging. The trained nurses and estheticians at Glow specialize in non-invasive facial aesthetics such as toxins, fillers, and lasers. Glow is ranked in the top 1% of all providers in the U.S. for Botox and filler, as well as Black Diamond Icon status for hydrofacial.
Glow Body specializes in body contouring with Ensculpt Neo, Emcella, weight loss clinic, and therapeutic massage. Book an appointment today at glow-skinspa.com.
So yesterday when we were out at the ranch, I tried the new like viral cocktail.
What's that?
Have you not seen where people are putting like frozen jalapenos in Sauvignon Blanc?
No.
It's like the hot girl drink of summer.
Okay.
So I turned it into a spritzer. So I put the frozen jalapenos in,
How do you just freeze jalapenos?
Mm-hmm. Just slice it up.
Oh, before
slice
or
them up
after
and freeze
slicing?
them.
Okay.
No, I slice them first and throw them in the freezer, seeds and all. And then I probably put like 4 slices in the glass, half wine, half club soda.
Okay.
It was great.
Is it spicy? Or just give it a little kick?
To me, it just gives it a little kick because I think once they're frozen, you're going to lose the heat from the seed regardless.
Right.
But it just gives it just enough of that flavor. And then there was like some guy on TikTok that was breaking down like flavor palettes and why it works. And people are against it, but this is why it works. And then we ran out of Sauvignon Blanc and used Chardonnay, and that seemed fine too.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Well, the club soda probably helps.
No, it
with
does.
the fizz.
It makes it, that's why I was able to have like 10.
Yeah.
Like you had in a little glass, but then all of a sudden it does kind of sneak up on you a little bit, and I was like, oh, look at that! I caught a buzz. But I mean, we were home by 8:30, and I had to teach bar early this morning, so it actually worked out well.
We did a wine tasting at this place called Stratus in Niagara-on-the-Lake, which the cutest town in Canada.
But it's not Niagara Falls.
No.
Okay.
It's called Niagara-on-the-Lake.
Okay.
It's near Niagara Falls.
Such a long name for a town.
It's the cutest little town, and it has tons of wineries. So because of the Niagara region being on the lake and cold, they produce a lot of sweet, that's where they produce the majority of the ice wine.
Okay.
Which is so expensive and arduous to pick because they pick it by hand. And they have to pick it like at the right time of the morning before it defrosts. So it's this whole process. Anyway, so it's all done there. That's where Wayne Gretzky has his whole thing. He has a winery and a distillery, a bourbon distillery or whiskey, whatever it is. So we went to this one place on I can't remember what day it was. And we just needed kind of a break. So Randy's sister and Randy and I went, and the guy that waited on us was the cutest. He's like, what do you guys like? Tell me what you like. And so we rattled off all of our stuff. And he's like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Instead of just like a random tasting, he brought like 5 of our favorite, whatever we liked.
Okay.
Rather than just like bore us with, I'm like, I hate ice wine. I like a sparkly, I want a rosé, but I want it dry. I like white, but I don't like oaky, and I don't like sweet, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and a lot of reds. So it was perfect. And I don't know how he kept it straight because he didn't write anything down.
Oh. But were the reds okay?
Reds were great. We bought a case.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the most impressive part was they came out with this beautiful, huge charcuterie that came with the tasting rather than, you know how some places are just like chintzy, like, here's some crackers.
Yeah. Or nothing.
To cleanse your palate.
Yeah. No.
This had like a full-on like gourmet cheese.
No, that's awesome. I would say it was your pick the one time we went to Napa to go to Kellum, which was awesome because everybody got their own individual charcuterie, and it was big.
Yeah.
Like it was lunch. It was huge. And then when you go to Del Dado, they have charcuterie and pizza.
Well, then you can
afterwards.
order at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They feed you and they keep giving you more wine so that you'll buy more wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're kind of, I don't know, like door-to-door people at that point because they're like, yeah, no, you're buying something. Like,
you're not leaving.
You probably drank $300 worth of wine while you were here, so you're buying something before you walk out the door.
Yes.
So
this past weekend was also Bottle Rock, which is my goal to go to next. They already started selling
performed
tickets.
At
did
Bottle
she?
Rock, yeah. So I mean, apparently
a ton of people, like Benson Boone, like a ton of performers.
Oh, I did see a couple of pictures. I follow Kate Hudson on Instagram, so that's why I saw all of her stuff from Bottle Rock, and it was really cute because her daughter, who's probably like 5 or 6 years old, was there, like, in the backstage area of the festival, and did like a reel mouthing words of her mom when she played the girl in Almost Famous about being a Band-Aid, right? Because she was kind of like with her mom backstage. It was really cute. It was so cute.
That's cute.
So, yeah.
Cute. All right, so we are on the quest for longevity.
Yes.
like not longevity meaning I want to live forever. I want to live how I'm living now for as long as I can.
I want to have a quality life while I'm still alive. Yes. There's no tap out button for me. Like, you know that you've have people in your life, or you remember like women, like when you were younger and you're like, at what point did you just say, I give up?
Yeah. I see a lot of that.
Yeah.
Around
and
everywhere.
I'm done with that. And I feel, okay, Kris Jenner and her facelift, something amazing that if you can afford it, I say go for it, because she looks freaking amazing, right? But you could get all of that done. You still want to feel good, while you look good. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I think this is probably her second or third iteration of her facelift.
Yeah, but I think she's just.
But she looks great. She's, what is she, 70-ish?
69. I think she turned 70 this year.
Okay.
Like, she's 2 years younger than my mom, and she looks
40.
Yes.
She looks 40. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, not only just looks, but we do a lot to complement our lives with like supplements.
Yeah.
With, you guys do cold plunge, with sauna, with
working out.
All of it.
Food. Yeah.
Food.
Yeah.
Being around other people.
But also at the same time, I'm doing this because I want to be able to enjoy my life. Like, we've talked about that dude that like spends like $1 million a year doing all the crazy things.
He literally spends $2 million a year
to age backwards. Yeah. I'm not asking to age backwards, but I do feel that, minus if I have to like sit on the floor for a long time and my lower back hurts, I feel better now than I did in my late 20s, early 30s. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did too. I mean, I do. I feel great. I feel that my stamina for stuff, for working out or for dealing with difficult things is so much better than it was when I was in my 30s, for sure.
So I didn't really work out in my 20s.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't. After I had Kylie, nothing. But then when she started preschool, we lived so far from the preschool that I was like, oh, I'll just get a gym membership. And Kris took pictures of me like walking her into dance class.
So did you not work out like all through college and then in your 20s?
I worked out in college because I made it I would always sign up for a gym class of some sort, whether it was a fitness class or play volleyball or something. I always did something. No, we lived in the middle of the woods. And it's not like I was surrounded by people who helped influence me to have a healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
It just wasn't a part of my everyday life.
Yeah.
So I took it upon myself, like, Kris took this picture of me, and my butt was so big that I was like, oh my God, that's what I look like. I was like appalled. I had no idea. You know, because we didn't have smartphones then. So, I mean, it's not like you just saw random pictures of yourself. So that was it. She started preschool. I joined the gym and I started doing like HIIT classes and, you know, step aerobics and, you know, I don't know, just different classes. And just moving a couple days a week, like, I started to see change.
Yeah.
And then when we moved here, I met other moms, and that was something that people did every day. So I didn't have a full-time job when we moved here, so I would go to Pure Barre with all the moms at 9 a.m. after elementary school drop-off. Then I started playing tennis. And then I became a bar instructor. So I started doing all those different things that led me into a healthier lifestyle. And at first, Kris was like, really? You're going to wake up and work out on a Saturday morning? But he wasn't working out then either. And then once it became like a priority for me, and he was like, oh, okay, well, I see this is a priority for you. Maybe I'll start going to the gym. And then we had a young kid that was working for us, and he would always travel with Kris as like his cameraman and stuff, and he was super big into fitness. And that kind of fed into, because I mean, it's not like Kris is going to do bar, you know, but he was like, oh, I'll work out with Jameson. Yeah. So they started getting big into working out together. And then we kind of went on this road of health and never looked back. And then when I started having all like my thyroid crap and, you know, the celiac, then it was like, okay, I'm taking that fitness to or the health part to a whole new level. So, yeah. But you've always been someone who worked out.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I think I took a break. So I was a cheerleader through high school and then college. And then it was so intense when I was in college because we competed that I actually took a year off of working out. Like after you graduated? I never had the experience that you had in college. Like we were competing, and then we were at games, and we traveled with all the teams. And, you know, like in the springtime, it was competition season. So like even when it got warmer out, I got to have a beer or two, you know, but I never could like really rage. And so my raging years were in my 20s.
Okay.
And so after college, so I graduated at whatever, what are you, 21, 22, 22 probably. And then I just stopped working out because I was like, I need a break of just not doing anything. So I did that for like, I don't even know, 6 months. And then I was just like, oh my God, I feel like shit. So then I started doing aerobics, like traditional aerobics. And then I got into running. That's when I got into running.
Okay.
So I was a huge runner in my 20s. That's kind of all I did.
See, I didn't start running until 29. So I had a friend who was like, hey, do you want to do like the Susan G. Komen in Detroit 5K? And I'm like, sure. I trained for almost 7 months to run 3 miles, but I was not running.
You're probably great at it then.
At all, you know? And I got my dad and my sister to run it with me. So that was super fun. And then after we did that, she was like, I'm moving to Nashville. They have a huge half marathon in the spring. Do you want to, you know?
Yeah.
And then that's an excuse for you to come see me. And then that's how I got big into the whole half marathon thing. But okay, so I saw that you have this biological versus chronological age. Have you done one of those tests before?
No.
Okay.
I have done, well, wait, did I do that test? It's like a blood test. I think I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I Googled it to see like if it's something that you could like do online.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do they do that at Live One? Where they like,
I don't know where
calculate all of that?
I'm trying to think where I did it. Now I'm blanking. But I feel like I've done it. And I was like clearly like a lot younger than I am biologically.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Or chronologically. Chronologically, I'm 52.
Yeah.
But I was
biologically, you were
like,
younger?
Yeah, like 15 years
awesome.
Younger, which is good.
I have the cholesterol of like a 95-year-old man who eats McDonald's every single day, but that's bad genetics.
Yeah.
So all of my, I mean, now they say that your good cholesterol isn't good cholesterol anymore, but like your triglycerides is like, what are you eating? That is always phenomenal, right? My good cholesterol
it's like
is
HDL and LDL or whatever.
Is always great. But my collective score, because my bad cholesterol, but I've had like where they look at your arteries and all that kind of stuff. Everything's clear. I have shit genetics is basically what it boils down to. And I don't always think you have to go on a statin or anything like that just because you don't meet what America now considers the national requirement for good cholesterol. I don't. I will.
Right.
I will fight somebody on that. Right. Those numbers I feel were created because, you know, hey, you probably should go check just to make sure your arteries are clear, your heart is working well. But if you have high cholesterol and all that's fine, I don't think you need to be on drugs for the rest of your life.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, they also look at a cohort of patients that are like from this to this. And so the middle is like so absurd that it's ridiculous.
Yep.
And so you can't really compare yourself to the middle. It almost needs, the start point almost needs to be at the middle.
Well, I just had my blood work done and I went for my results and it said that my TSH was low for my thyroid. I'm like, oh my God, please do not lower my medication because I feel so good right now. And she's like, oh no, you're great. She's like, I'm not looking at that number. I'm looking at these numbers.
Yes.
Because she's like, I never look just
average is just so ridiculous, which is why clinical trials can be skewed unless they're doing like a head-to-head comparison.
And that's why I feel like you really need to find yourself a great practitioner who knows their shit and isn't just looking at something so general.
Yeah, that's why general practitioners, God bless them, they see millions of people a day, which is why they can't concentrate on your health or your preventative health.
Yep.
They can only look at like, okay, so my rule, like if I look in my little book, it says from this to this is really bad. This to this is normal and this to this is really on the opposite end. And so you can't really go to your general practitioner for preventative care, because all they really want to do is stop you from having the flu.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, so like my dad's testosterone, he takes no supplement for that, right? Injection, nothing. It is like he's a raging teenager. And I go, hey, at some point, this is not okay because you're like 72 years old. And it's like in a danger zone. Like,
what is his PSA score?
Is that the testosterone number?
No.
Oh.
It's a prosthetic antigen.
Oh, no, his prostate's fine.
Okay.
That I do know. But he is going to have like a CT scan of his pituitary gland and something else.
It seems
Chris
abnormal.
and I basically sat him down and was like, this isn't okay. This is the second time it has come back this way.
Yeah.
And, you know, like men who take testosterone to like kind of get their like libido and everything back to, you know, a regulatory range, if they were here, their doctor would pull them back. So this is not an okay place to be. Now, I hope this doesn't hinder him in the future because he's very active. He's very excited. Yeah. But, you know, not also doing the things that some men would do if
you also don't want it at risk for like any heart condition, because that's exactly what those drugs were conditioned to do. So like, oh my God, what is the name of the drug for ED?
Oh, like the Viagra?
Viagra, yes, Viagra.
Oh.
So what the side effects are cardiovascular risks, because it speeds up your heart rate.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so not to say that testosterone does that, but I'm just saying, like, testosterone also can give you big libido, which also could increase your heart rate.
Yeah. I don't know. Interesting.
Hopefully he can get some answers.
Hopefully he gets some answers. He goes, like, he's got the CT scan in a couple weeks, and then he's got the results after that. Oh, but speaking of this, so my Uncle Mark, you've met him before at Thanksgiving at my house. So he's on the list for a lung transplant. Not because he's a crazy smoker or anything like that in the past. Like, he had a surgery, and the anesthesia kind of like fucked him up a little bit. So his lungs like are absolute shit. So
does he own that hospital?
No, do you know that no lawyer would represent him, because it was basically like, this is a small town and they take care of their own.
Yes.
But when he went to Mayo Clinic, and they're like, yeah, no, this is totally their fault.
Yeah. And also he probably signed millions of documents that said it's not our fault.
Yeah. So basically, like, he thought he could go that route and basically couldn't. So renting a house in Texas, he lives in Arkansas, renting a house in Texas close to the hospital where the transplant is.
Okay.
And it's like a big house, so that like we're all signed up like in this group text message to fly down and help my Aunt Pam. But he got a phone call that lungs are available.
Oh my God.
Okay, but there's two doctors on this like little text chain with him. So the guy was a prison inmate and he got shanked. So that's why his lungs are available.
Are they healthy?
The lungs, I think, are healthy. The problem is this guy doesn't really have much of a health history. So they don't know if there was any drug use.
Oh,
they know there's no HIV involved. I guess now with hepatitis, they're like, meh, we can fix that.
Yeah.
So they're not really worried about that. But I'm like, really? I mean, I guess you shouldn't really discriminate when you need like a vital organ. But I'm like, an inmate? I like the beautiful stories of, you know,
somebody was taken too soon, and here are some angel lungs.
Here's some angel lungs, and, you know, some girl calls my uncle up, you know, 5 years from now and is like, I'm getting married. I would love to hear my dad breathe and like have you walk me down the aisle, kind of thing. I love those type of transplant stories. To find out that your lungs came because a guy got shanked.
That's so awesome. Actually, that would be a great cause for him to write a book. Or your aunt. To be like, okay, now he has these awesome lungs. Now all of a sudden he became this like badass. And now he is like whatever in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It'd be something.
Like how to the point that he needs to have the lungs, what's the timing? So he can't afford to be like, no, thank you. Those lungs are not the lungs I wanted.
I mean, so the funny thing is, so there's 2 doctors on this chain with him. One of them's like, you don't know enough.
Yeah.
I feel like you have the ability to wait for another set. The other doctor's like, I'd give him to anybody in my family.
Okay.
So
maybe get a third opinion?
I don't know. It's just interesting. And I'm like, you know what? Of course, someone from my family. And then that would be his story to everyone and be like, you know, I've never been to prison myself. My lungs, they've been incarcerated.
That would be awesome. That would be a great story.
So, yeah, I don't know. So I've never done it. I've never done that test. I wonder if with all the blood work that I have over at Live, if they can do the
biological versus chronological.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see.
We should ask her.
So, but all of my markers are getting better. So
that's awesome.
I love that journey for myself.
We just were talking about this last weekend because Canada universal healthcare is not awesome. Mm-hmm. Within the region of Niagara, where my in-laws and my sister-in-law lives, there is one MRI machine.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how good healthcare is in America.
So, we have problems. Yeah. There is no doubt. We have many problems with our healthcare system, and everyone should have access to it. And in fact, they do. Yeah. So I used to be a rep in downtown Los Angeles for breast cancer. And I remember people lining up at this county hospital, UCLA, which is a county hospital, outside the clinic, and they would get screened for breast cancer, which is awesome. Anybody, all comers. Yeah. Anybody can come there. We don't care if you don't have a home or if your home is in another country or if your home is here. Yeah. You can get screened. And as they're getting screened, they're also getting treated. Oh. With the best chemotherapy branded product. And I know this because it was my product. Yeah. And also I wasn't getting fucking commission on it because it was given away for free. Because there are certain hospitals in the country, in the state, that are deemed a poverty county. Okay. Los Angeles is probably number 1. And so many companies and many pharmaceutical companies, and they get a shit on all the time, but they are required to give a certain amount of drug to these counties all the time. Mm-hmm. All the time. So they are not commissioned on it. They're not getting paid. In fact, they're losing money because they're giving branded products. So to come to a country, this is why everybody is like, go to America. It's awesome. Yeah. You get free health care. Nobody has to really pay for it except the people that do, like us, the taxpayers. Yep. And then you can also get branded products and be cured. Mm-hmm. And that's awesome. Mm-hmm. But you go to some place like Canada where you're paying whatever 60% taxes. Good luck. Yeah. I hope you're healthy. Yeah. And they mostly are. Like, for the most part, like if you look at European countries and the Canadians, they're very healthy people.
Well, because we allow stuff in our country that aren't allowed in other countries. And a lot of it is just processed food. Yes. Right? And I will say when you and I were kids, right, and our parents were trying to, you know, make the most out of the funds that they had for a grocery bill, but to be able to have like Kraft spaghetti and macaroni and cheese and all that kind of stuff, and it was probably like 50 cents a box. That was a big deal, right? Yeah. Now we know that that is all chemicals and straight up fucking garbage. Yeah. You know, like and TV no dinners. One should be eating it. Jack, where's he at? All he eats is macaroni and
Even
cheese.
Even the government cheese that we used to get when I was growing up, because we were broke, was probably all chemicals. I mean, it was a block. It was pre-sliced.
Well, it's basically like Velveeta, where it's just like it wiggles.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Uh-huh. And that was like, here you go, poor people. Try to make a meal out of that. And you kind of would, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I just, the stuff, like we would have chipped beef. Did you ever have chipped beef?
No. Was that like the shitty part of the steak?
So I think it's like a Stouffer's is probably not the right brand, but like a frozen thing. And it was basically like shaved beef, which I think it was like glued and chewed like leftovers in a creamy sauce that I'm sure was all chemicals as well. But my mom would toast bread and put that on top. And it's not because she was like, I want you guys to have chemicals and like die at an early age.
They didn't know.
She didn't know, and it was cheap, and we liked it, so we ate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like fried bologna sandwiches.
Oh,
that was like another
bologna.
like staple. You know?
Yes.
Where I barely buy
has a
lunch
first
meat.
name. It's OSCAR. I still remember that whole commercial. Yeah.
So-
I lived on bologna sandwiches.
Yes.
Bologna sandwiches, white bread with butter. Not even like the good butter. It was like margarine.
One, cheaper. But two, back then, like my grandma had naturally high cholesterol, and she was like, well, I can't have real butter. I need to have this like processed chemical crap.
Please give me the margarine.
I just
please
loved
let
it
it
'cause
be
it would
refrigerated
spread
so
easy.
it like doesn't. You know, you take it out of the fridge and no one defrosted it, and it like
you mean
goes
the
on
freezer?
or no, just the fridge where it's hard, and you just get the squares, and they just like cut the bread and make it all shredded. Anyway, that's a problem too.
But no, now I get grass-fed, like Irish cream butter, and we keep one in a little dish so it's nice and soft, so that if you need to like spread it on something.
Yeah.
And then we have some in the fridge and some in the freezer, depending on like what you need it for.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yeah, like we were taught all the wrong things about fats, and it was how cheap can we make food and make it go farther. And that's what other countries have over us is the quality of the food.
pyramid, the food pyramid. Remember how backwards that was? It was
Well,
like
literally backwards.
It was literally backwards. So it would be like, okay, you need to have carbohydrates, wheat, and flour. That was like the top. That was you had to have that at every meal. And then like meat was like, protein was like down here. And everything else shitty was at the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
And that's the food pyramid that we all adhered to when we were growing up.
Yeah. And, you know, seed oils. Like, everybody thinks, like, oh, vegetable oil was going to be, like, all the new rage. That's complete garbage for you.
Yeah.
Like, stick to olive oil or avocado oil. Like, that's it. So, and if there's a recipe, even if it's, like I will get a box of gluten-free Trader Joe brownie mix, whatever.
Yeah.
It calls for vegetable oil. I use butter.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
like that's an easy exchange.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
to make
my mom
make your
used
stuff
Crisco.
healthier.
I grew up with Crisco,
Yeah.
which is not bad, actually. I
No.
actually love
Like
it.
to make a pie
I
crust?
love the taste.
Yeah.
But man, is it bad for you.
Wait, you wouldn't eat it like by itself?
No. But like she baked with it,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah,
Used
yeah.
it to fry with,
Okay.
whatever. I ate a lot of canned goods growing up.
Yes, I ate a lot of SpaghettiOs.
Oh, yeah. We did SpaghettiOs, and then I would do ravioli in the can.
Oh, yeah,
And then
Chef
we do
Boyardee.
beans with potatoes in the can. And my mom, this is how poor we were. My mom would open a can of peas, open a can of potatoes, and mix it with milk. And we ate that for a lot of days.
Would it be warm?
Yeah, sometimes. Wasn't that gross?
Yeah, that's so gross.
Isn't that gross? It's disgusting. But we didn't know.
You didn't know, but if little Meko would know how she eats.
Can you
now.
imagine? I would have been like, stop it right now.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
But I was just like, thank you.
well, yeah, you eat what you know.
Which is
for
why
sure.
my taste buds are so horrible right now. Like, I'm not an adventurous eater. And I think this stems back for your childhood where you're like, you were never exposed to variety of food or spices or anything.
Yeah, but I love stuff I was never exposed to as a kid, like asparagus. I thought
Oh, yeah.
I
Your
never
taste
ate
buds
like my
change.
mom never made asparagus. She'd make like broccoli, but when I think about it, it was probably like a lot of frozen stuff.
Yes.
And then she would boil it. Never made asparagus. But then and the only reason I tried asparagus, I was with my mother-in-law and Kylie in Traverse City. Kylie was probably like 3-4 years old. And I ordered whitefish for lunch, and it came with asparagus on the side. And I was like,
"No,
I don't.
thank you."
I was like, I don't need the asparagus. And Kylie was like, Mom, get it. I think I want to try it. I was like, okay. So she tried it, and she was like, I really like it. And I look at her, and I'm like, well, maybe I should try it. It was so good. It was so good. Yeah, the only time I had ever had asparagus before that was canned asparagus, and I thought that was disgusting.
Gross, yeah.
But that wasn't at my parents didn't make that. I don't even remember where I tried that, but that's when I was like, ew, this is gross.
Yeah.
So ate a lot of canned green beans.
Yes.
Canned corn.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
It was cheap. So, which is kind of ironic that I grew up on all those canned goods when I grew up on a farm.
Yeah, but sugar beet farm, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we had access to all sorts of fresh stuff. I don't know why we didn't eat it. I don't know.
I mean, the crazy thing about Michigan is you're not getting phenomenal produce all year round.
No.
Unless you're like
unless you freeze
hydroponics.
it or whatever. But anyway, now we know.
Yes.
But now it's so interesting to watch my kids who are very adventurous eaters, especially Alex.
But don't you feel like you did that on purpose? Like
Yes.
Chris and I wanted Kylie to try everything.
We fed them sushi when they were babies. I remember taking them to the sushi place and we'd be like, here's some like raw tuna.
Yeah.
Here you go. And they both are like pretty adventurous. I mean, Alex way more than Evie, but very adventurous.
Yeah.
Like we'll eat whatever. We'll try whatever. And that is not me because I didn't, but
I feel like you try stuff now.
No, I don't. I know. I like what I like.
No, yeah, I do know that about you. But sometimes I feel like if we say try this, you will. I don't know.
It doesn't really
Randy,
happen
where'd he
often.
go? He was here. Do you agree or do you disagree? That she will try it every once in a while. Ish.
More
Ish.
adventurous.
Yeah.
But that's not how I grew
No,
up.
I think you're doing that, especially when you have kids that will try anything.
Yes.
That you're almost like, okay, I feel like maybe I should try this now too.
But then now my kids know and they'll be like, Mom, try it. You'll like it. And
Yeah.
so I'll try that.
Yes.
But they'll know like if it's.
Or they'll know the comparison of stuff that you hate, that they're like,
Yes.
yeah, this isn't going to be for
So
you.
we went for sushi. Alex, I had her home for 2 weeks total.
Yeah.
She's now on her way to Miami for the summer, so that compounds with the whole Evie graduating
Yep.
and the whole everything else. And we went for the four of us, had a day and went down shopping and had sushi. And she loves octopus. Yeah, not my choice. Anyway, she and Randy were like, she's like, Dad, you want to get some octopus? And we'll have it. And they did. And it was not the octopus like you would think of like one strand or one
Like
what is that,
tentacle?
arm.
Yeah.
It was babies.
Oh.
Yeah. Even my husband, who is the ultimate, like,
He'll eat anything,
He'll
yeah.
eat anything. He'll try whatever. He's like, I can't even do it.
No.
No. She was like digging in there.
And did
eating
she like it?
Oh, yeah. She's like, these are pretty good, Dad. You should try it. He's like, I can't even.
I mean,
with
it
that.
is like when you get it in that tentacle, like,
Yeah.
it's rubbery.
I can
It's
see
not like
that.
it's like deep fried calamari.
Oh, she was getting
You know
her
what I mean?
chopsticks in. She was just like, these aren't bad.
Yeah.
Baby by baby. And we're all like
Baby by baby.
eating them. Anyway, I digress. We are
Yeah.
much more adventurous eaters now as
Yes.
adults.
Yes.
We're more aware. I think that we just didn't know, and neither did our parents. And I
No,
can't
they
blame
had
them.
no idea. No.
Because there
No.
wasn't somebody that they weren't like going to the grocery store while they had 4 nickels to rub together, thinking maybe I should read the label. They were
But they
basically
didn't even know
like,
things were bad. Like, you know, I was telling my dad about some supplements, and he's like, yeah, but I don't know about these, like, these protein bars because they have soy in it, and I'm really trying to get away from soy.
yeah.
And he's not wrong at all, but it's really hard to get away from soy. Meko, I brought the wine today.
okay,
Give me your thoughts. Give me your vibe.
it's a little bitey.
Ooh, bitey.
Is my description.
Okay.
But it's good. It's
Yeah.
a Tuesday wine to me.
It is a Tuesday wine.
Yeah.
It hits the cutoff exactly at $24.99.
Okay.
I did find it cheaper on Woods Wholesale, but by the time you were to pay for shipping, and added the $2, it would pretty much be $24.99. Yeah. So oddly enough, it's a good wine. It's an
good.
easy drink,
Yeah.
right? But we had it after drinking, I don't know, something else. And, you know, your palate's drinking something else,
Yeah.
and then you have this, and you're like, ew. This is so smooth. This is so good. And it is. It's a very nice wine.
Yeah.
But yes, it does hit the Tuesday mark. So,
Yes.
oh, good job.
Cheers. Have you heard of the David bars?
No.
Okay, so I haven't tried them personally.
Okay.
They are infiltrating my Instagram.
Okay.
And Peter Attia, Dr. Peter Attia, who does that, he did the book on what's this book called? Long Live? Anyway, it's about longevity.
Okay.
And it's about literally what we're talking about. Like, not living forever, but it's about living the best life that you have for as long as you can.
Yep.
He is, I believe he is an investor, if not the inventor of these bars called the David Bar.
Okay.
And they're supposed to be limited ingredients, really good, good tasting. Like,
Well, I mean, that's what I look for now.
not a lot of shit in it.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that there's nothing in there that I can't pronounce.
Right.
You know?
Right. And you don't want it to taste also like this.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, what's the point? I
Yeah.
might as well just eat a hamburger. Mm-hmm. Because that probably has more protein.
Yep.
Yeah. So, anyway, now we know more. Supplements, the whole thing.
Yes. Okay, well, speaking of supplements, so I have some exciting news. So that I have signed on in a partnership with First Form, which I'm super excited about.
What's First Form?
So like
Tell
a
us more.
supplement company,
Okay.
a supplement company.
Okay.
My favorite thing that they have is they have this protein. It's called First Form protein, and it is like drinking flavored water.
Ooh.
It is not your chalky protein shake that you shake it up and then you get like clumps and everything in. Now, of course, I use one of those like emulsifier things.
Yeah.
But and then it gets frothy, but you can just like chug it down.
And it's good?
Yes, it is
Oh,
so good.
okay.
So they have 3 flavors right now.
And then how many ounces do you have to mix with it? Like 12? Or
Okay,
can you-
so I'd have to read the package to know like what their recommendation
Yeah.
is. When I do my supplement stuff, like I just mix not this protein, but I just put everything together.
Yeah.
All right, and it tastes like some weird Jolly Rancher, but I just chug it down. This I mix with the clear protein, and they have this other stuff called Ignition, which is a carbohydrate. But it's formulated to like help you before you work out to make sure that you have like the longevity and stamina for your workout.
Okay.
And then it's a post-workout to help you with like recovery and your muscle stuff. So I was a little apprehensive at first because you hear about this stuff and you're, you know, like you were told about like your protein, your creatine and all that stuff. And you don't want to be like the jacked up, like bodybuilder dude.
Right.
It's not that way at all. And I've been doing it for over a month now and I can totally tell like muscle definition wise and everything.
good.
Yes. Like I'm into it. So, and we're told constantly over the age of 40, protein.
Yes.
And sometimes you're like, there's only so much steak, so much beef, so much,
Yeah.
you know,
You have to
fish I
supplement
want to eat.
with
Yes.
stuff.
And so my next thing that I'm going to try to do with it is make like little Jello bars, Jello squares.
Oh, good.
So you can just like pop it in like a Jello square, like you're hungry, but you know you're going out to eat, you got to do something. Or even like when I teach at 5:30 in the morning, eat a Jello square.
Yeah.
Because I'm not starving. And I don't want to like have like a belly full of eggs at 5 a.m.
Yeah, that's tough when you're doing a workout. And I know the recommendation now is like you need to have something in your stomach, like a protein, prior to you working out. I can't physically do that. First of all, I feel like shit after when I'm working. I feel like I'm
I
gonna
know. I need to
throw
give you
up.
some of this so you can try it because I think you might like it.
Like I get the concept, but give me something. So I started making protein balls myself.
You
And-
gave some to me. They were really good.
They're good. And so as long as I have like chocolate chips,
Yeah. Well, and you can get
And peanut butter.
like soy-free, you know, nut-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, like little like pure cocoa chocolate chips in there that give you that satisfaction baby crunch. But no, yours were good.
yeah, and they're regular chocolate chips.
And I liked that you made them small.
Yeah.
Like, you know how sometimes like people make them really big? And it's like, I feel like this protein ball is a commitment.
You just need one. That's it before you work out. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, good. Because otherwise you just, I feel very satiated and feel like I'm going to get sick if I eat too much.
No, and I get that. And you've been someone who was like would fast like during your
Yes.
workout kind of
Yeah.
person where my blood sugar drops and I get like super nauseous. So I always have to be fueled before, and
Yeah.
especially if it's going to be something that's like high endurance.
Yep.
And it's hard to find like the right combination of what you're going to have. And now I don't do crazy HIIT workouts like I used to anymore, which I mean, I think you agree with me on that factor that you don't need to do that, especially after a certain age.
Yes.
Right? I have a better body now just doing bar, walking my dog, who looks like he's really big into huge workouts right now. He's so lazy. And I try to use heavy weights once a week, right? Because I don't want to have like frail, like shriveled up muscles.
Right. But. For sure. I think our workouts have evolved over time.
And you are straight Tracy Anderson. Like,
I am.
You love it. Every once in a while, I suck you in on a Friday morning.
Yeah. I just get the best. Well, there's a variety of Tracy Anderson workouts that I do. So I not just do the box or the staff or whatever. Sometimes I'll do like the heavier weights or, whatever. But overall, the concept for me works.
Yes.
And I like the results and I feel good and stretched and balanced.
Yeah.
So that's part of like getting old too. I don't want to get out of my chair and fall. Or, for example, this past weekend, getting out of my sister-in-law's shower is like, it was kind of like a
tub?
trick.
Okay. Yeah.
You got to get your foot over the tub to be able to not, to get your towel, whatever. And Randy and I both were talking about how if we weren't in shape or didn't have like balance, it could have been a fucking disaster. Like we could have landed on our head. And I know somebody who broke her neck by getting off her toilet and hitting the sink and super in shape. But like, if you don't have your balance right, it doesn't even matter what age you are. So now we're looking at all these precautions in life, just in everyday life. So I want to do exercises that are like, okay, if I have to bend over or get up from a squat from sitting, I don't want to have to like think about, oh my God, is my knee going to give out? Is my ankle going to hurt? Things like that, which is like, I didn't have to think about until kind of now.
Right? Well, because you just would never have crossed your mind before. You know what I mean? But then as you see your parents' age or your in-laws' age or, you watch what your friends are going through with their aging parents and you think to yourself, okay, how do I avoid being that?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think one of my fears about being an empty nester is I don't want to be that lady who just like sits at home on her iPad.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know that's not who I am, but I know that if I have too much time on my hands, I'm either go, or I completely just like fall flat. So it's just finding the right amount of what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and finding your thing that you want to do.
Well, like Chris and Kylie are going on a trip together, which I love for them because they've never done that before. And I get to do that with her all the time. So this is very special for them. You're fucking out of town. Like, I don't know. I need.
Wait, when is it?
I need auditions for new friends. It is the first week of July.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah, you're gone.
Yeah.
So oddly enough,
you should find a friend and go somewhere for the 4th of July.
Yeah. So I was walking out of the gym the other day and I could see that they were setting up for the golf tournament. So I text my friend Morgan, who used to play on the LPGA and now she's a commentator. And I was like, hey, are you coming in town for the tournament? Because sometimes she comes as a commentator and sometimes they don't ask her to do it. And she was like, oh my God, I was going to totally text you after the long weekend. I got signed on to do that. And I was like, well, the door's open. Like, you're more than welcome to stay here.
Wait, is that during the 4th of July?
No, it's the week before.
Oh, okay.
But at least it's like
something
largely entertaining and everything and like a lot going on.
Is she going to stay with you?
She's staying with us.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I'm super excited for that. So then it was really funny because normally right after that is the Avion tournament. And I told Chris and I was like, well, if Morgan's here, I'm just going to be like, hey. I'm like, you want a roomie? I'm like, I'll go with you to the Avion tournament. He goes, oh my God, I love that for you. Where is it? And I go, France.
You should go. Why don't you?
Oh my God, we did not have this conversation yet.
Oh,
Morgan,
you should
if you're
go.
listening, let's talk about it.
Take her to France. You need to go. You need to go. You've never experienced France. You should do it with someone who's been.
I know.
Go with her.
But I'm like, I'll carry your luggage. I mean,
Oh my God, Katie, go. She's going to have a hotel.
Yeah.
We've already got this planned, Morgan. Morgan, I know you. Okay, listen to me. So take Katie with you. You will experience France. Where is it in France even? Is it in Paris?
Avion? I have no idea. I
Okay,
have absolutely
we'll figure
no
it
idea.
out.
And
Anyway.
I don't even know. That's normally what butts up right after this tournament. I don't even know if it's like the same.
I'm sure. They don't celebrate the 4th of July.
No, I know they don't celebrate the 4th of July.
Go. It is the perfect time to be in France. It's going to be hot.
Yeah.
It's going to be great wine, great food, all of it. Go. You should go. Your
I love
passport's
that
updated.
you're my biggest cheerleader for this.
Your passport's updated.
Yes, my
correct?
passport's
okay.
fine.
All you need is a flight.
Yeah.
Delta
I know.
from
One.
Yes, Delta One from Detroit. I don't think they fly directly to France, but I think you have to connect through.
Well, they fly to Paris.
Did
I
they?
see that all the
Yes,
time.
they do.
Yeah.
CRG or whatever the thing. It is the biggest clusterfuck of an airport, but it's great. If you go with her, I'm
Okay.
sure she'll have people.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
You should
So,
go. I'm happy for you. You need to go. You need to go to France.
We'll get it figured out. But but anyways, she will be there right before Chris and Kylie leave. Yeah, but that was the realization of, okay, so my regular, ordinary, everyday life of, even if Chris was gone, you're gone, I always had Kylie.
Yeah.
You know? And really like the past
This is
couple
good
years.
for you. This
No,
is good for
I
you. Think
know.
about it. This is
I
therapy.
know.
This is good for you. This is
know.
good for you because it's going to make you stretch beyond your scope and really go, oh my God, what do I want to do? You've never really had that option. And now you do.
No, Chris and I had this conversation. He's like, I'm actually excited for this part of your life. I feel like I texted Tessa about that the other day, and she's so swarmed with tiny little children. She's like,
she's in a different life.
Yeah, I'm not concerned for you
And
at all.
Tessa is just can't get beyond tomorrow.
Yeah, correct.
Right? With
Yes,
children.
yes.
Because we've all been there.
I'm worried about 2 months from now.
Yes.
That's where
Yes.
my mind keeps going.
Yeah.
So
and you can go. Your passport works.
Yeah.
You got to get the TSA pre-check. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna next week when all that shit comes to MBS.
I'm going.
You
yeah.
sign up for TSA pre-check. You sign up for global entry and for Nexus.
Yeah.
It's air, land, and sea. Do it all.
Perfect. See?
Check all the boxes.
Look at Meko making sure that I can just travel the world on a whim.
What else is there to do? You got to see it all. You know where my next trip I want to go? Egypt.
Really?
Yes.
I have no desire.
I never did either, but I want to see the Great Pyramid.
Okay.
I kind of want it because I want to inspect
windy and
how
sandy for me.
it was done. It is a mystery to me, and I also want to go on an African safari, but
A photography one.
no. What do you mean?
Well, you don't want to go on an African hunt.
Not a hunt.
Oh.
I want to look at animals. I don't want to hunt them.
Yeah.
And I also want to do it where you just look at them and then you go back to your hotel.
Okay, but they're wild animals.
Yeah.
It does happen that when you're on a super bougie one, and I mean, you never know what the
Yeah,
an
I want
elephant
somebody to
wants
carry
do
a
that day.
gun with me.
Yeah.
And so I can see them in their habitat.
Yeah.
And then also just go back and have dinner.
I mean, there's that giraffe hotel. I would love to kind of do that. That looks really fun. I have no desire to go to Egypt at all. But I did see, I haven't been to Italy yet. I've always wanted to go to Sicily, and I don't know why. But there is this restaurant in Sicily that is in a cove, in the water, and it just looks amazing. And it keeps
should go.
showing up in my Insta feed.
You should go.
I want to go to Sicily. I wanna
should go.
to I want to go to a little Italian island.
Do it.
So.
Do it.
You know
I
what-
love Italy.
You want to know why probably I want to go to Sicily is because Dorothy's
White
mom.
Lotus?
No,
Oh.
Dorothy's mom in the Golden Girls. What was her name? The mom.
Sophia?
Sophia. She'd always be like, "When I was a little girl in Sicily."
Oh,
you know.
yes,
And I think
yes.
that's maybe why. But and I
You
think
should.
all the best mob families are probably from Sicily.
They're probably all Sicilian. Yes, you should go. You should go. You should do all of it.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, and this is why we need to stay young and take all of our
This
things.
is why living longer.
Yes.
Because we love to travel. That's no secret. And so last year wherever we were. Randy and I were like, can you imagine trying to do this like in a walker or a cane?
No.
There's so much walking involved in traveling and traveling the world. Not every country has handicap accessible shit.
I know. Yeah.
In addition, if I'm handicapped, I'm not going to want to travel.
Yeah.
So we need to stay as healthy as we can.
Agreed.
And do this as long as we can. And, we're not super young, but I feel like we're young as far as our age, our biological age.
Okay, but young has changed, and like what the theory of old has changed, right?
Yes.
So when Golden Girls came out, when we were younger, and we would watch that show, they were in their 50s.
Yes.
50s.
I know, and I'm
You know
in
what
my
I mean?
50s.
Right?
And
you
Randy is
don't
solidly in
look
his
like
50s.
Rose
Yes.
or Blanche.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like now, if you were to watch those shows and you asked our kids how old those ladies are, they're
They'd
going to
be
be
like
like, I don't know,
100.
85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like my grandma, and my grandma died at 100. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we can live for a long time. But to be able to do that and to travel and to do all the touristy things that we want to do, you have to like be a little mobile.
Yeah.
A lot mobile, actually. And traveling is not for the handicap. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be like whatever, but it is not.
And I remember like when my grandpa retired, and then him and my grandma they would go on cruises and they would do different things. And she was embarrassed that she would have to be in a wheel because she had a stroke. Oh. So she would walk with a cane and she got around very well. But to like move and groove and do things, it was just easier to throw her in a wheelchair.
Cruises are great for like that.
But you're not going to want to be in a wheelchair. He didn't really want to push her. Like there was like a whole, it was like a whole thing.
But you're not going to travel and tour through Vatican
Cobblestone
City
streets,
and to go into whatever, the ancient apocalypse without 2 feet.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. So, and then our friends, they're both our friends, the Bunas, right? So they traveled very differently. They are European, and they will just go, you know what? I feel like we should plan a trip to Costa Rica. Yeah. Where if I was planning a trip to Costa Rica, I'd have a travel agent, and it would be all planned out. I would have a full itinerary. I would know all the things. They're like, we're just going to get a hotel for like the first 2 nights and fucking wing it from there.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's a whole other element.
So they're like, we're doing a vacation with you like that. And
that would give you anxiety.
Oh my God,
I would do it with them because they've been everywhere.
They've traveled the world. So if I'm going to do it with somebody, I'm doing it with them. But yes, so they still have 2 kids in school. So they're like, we went on spring break with you this past year.
Yes.
You're going on spring break with us. It doesn't matter. It's not Kylie's. It's fine. You're just going to come with us. And they want to go to No, it wasn't Costa Rica. Where do they want to go?
Dominican?
Colombia.
Oh, okay.
Cartagena.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know what I think of when I hear Cartagena?
The cartel?
Yes, but I think of Romancing the Stone. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Where she's like the romance novelist and she's got to go save her sister because she's like... and
like
the alligators.
Tethering from one...
Like, yeah. And the guy was like, I got my snappers. Remember that? Oh my God.
It's
Danny
been a long
DeVito.
time. I remember Danny DeVito and Kathleen Turner.
Yes.
When she was beautiful.
And Kurt Russell.
Before she looked like a man.
She did not age well. That is what I'm trying to avoid. You know, when someone randomly asks to be your friend on Facebook from your childhood and you go,
and you can't recognize them.
I mean, I kind of remember the name, but they don't look familiar
I've seen
at
people
all.
in my past that I went to high school or whatever, middle school maybe. They look like they could be my mom.
Yeah.
Like just gave it up completely.
Right.
Or were sick. I'm not sure. But just in some way
like your benefit
gave
of the
it
doubt.
up.
Yeah.
You know, or just like, fuck it. This is the hand I was dealt.
Now,
I am not giving up that easy.
No. And so Kylie, I had Kylie at 24, right? So when she was in preschool, there were some moms, you know, that were probably like in their mid 30s. This was like their, you know, 5th kid, 3rd kid, whatever. Started later than Chris and I did. Fine. But we would show up to like the Christmas program. I'm in this like cute, very fitted cream dress and like knee-high boots, and I'm feeling myself and I'm feeling good. And like the moms would just stare at me and I'd be like, okay, well, you're in your embroidered Kohl's sweater.
Yeah.
Like you're an elementary school teacher, you know? When did you just tap out and that you chopped your hair? And I'm not ragging on somebody who makes these decisions, but I'm just saying,
well,
like it is a choice. How
it's a choice.
Aging gracefully means different things to different people.
It's a choice. You can either say, here I am 52. Mm-hmm. I don't want to work out anymore. I don't really give a shit what I eat. Mm-hmm. I am an empty nester. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Also, you probably don't have a lot of friends because no one wants to be around that shit, okay? Nobody wants to be around Debbie Downer. There's a reason that is a skit on Saturday Night Live where they're like, wah, wah. And that is literally the sound that it makes every time she speaks. Mm-hmm. So we all know those people. We don't want to be those people.
No. Mm-mm. No, you're 100% correct. I will have blonde hair until the day I die. Yes. I will never stop dyeing my hair. I don't plan on having any wrinkles in my face. If I have to be like Patricia from Southern Charm and a little bit of Dolly Parton where I'm moo-moos and like latex to my fingertips, but fine. But yes.
Black was invented for a reason.
Oh, good point.
It was invented for middle-aged women.
Yeah.
To look their best.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? I like wearing bright colors. I like wearing whites, and I want to look good in them. So I'm going to make sure I'm working out and and eating right.
Yes.
Now, granted, I love my wine. It is no secret that I love to dip a fresh bag of Ruffles potato chips in Chick-fil-A sauce. Ooh, you know what? Change the subject. Lay's potato chips now at Meijer, all dressed, available.
Shut up.
In Midland. Yep. Right by the checkout. I bought 3 bags.
Oh,
because I'm like, what if this is just like a fluke?
What if the Canadians stop importing it in here?
Well, Lay's is an
still.
American brand. They have the option to make it here. They don't.
All dressed?
Yes, and now they do.
They're so good.
Right?
Have you dipped that shit in Chick-fil-A sauce yet?
Well, that would just be a flavor explosion.
You should try it. I'm just checking.
All right, I'll try it. I'll make a video.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
I mean, you could almost put a turd in Chick-fil-A sauce and it might be okay.
I've never really loved Chick-fil-A sauce. I've only tried it
are you
like
not
once.
a mustard person? I like mustard.
No. I'm not a saucy person.
See, I'm a sauce of everything.
Do you put sauce in do you dip ketchup with your fries? Mm-hmm. Oh, right. I feel like that is the start of the whole sauce explosion.
Well, and as a kid, I used to put A1 on my steak. Now I think it tastes like chemicals. It literally tastes like rubbing alcohol. But as a kid, I would smother my steak in A1 sauce.
Why? Because the steak was bad?
You know, I really like my steak kind of rare. Mm-hmm. And my parents just didn't make it that way.
Yeah.
You know, so I was just kind of like schmeh on eating it. Where
now that it's rare, it
Yeah.
has more juice.
And I mean, we rub them down with olive oil and salt and pepper and let them sit for like 45 minutes to an hour at room temperature before we grill them. You know, it was Marketplace, you know, which was like a thing that you bought like from the school to give money to the school.
Yeah.
Everything was frozen. It came out of the freezer. It went and it defrosted in the microwave.
Oh, for sure.
And then you grilled it.
Which was like half cooked.
Yeah, half cooked. Yeah.
Yeah. Rubber.
Yeah.
We had Salisbury steak.
We never really, but it's kind of like chipped beef. But
it's, I'm not even sure it's an actual beef. I'm pretty sure it's like whatever the scraps were. Mm-hmm. I had them at home and then I had it at school. It was like the treat.
So one horrific sausage I will eat to this day, and it's just because it's nostalgic, is kiszka. So it's a Polish sausage. They really don't even eat it in Poland. They're like, oh God, like peasants eat kiszka.
Okay.
But when all these, you know, Polacks came over from Poland to America.
Can you say that?
I don't know.
You can because you're
I
Polish.
can't. I'm Polish.
You can.
So they came over and, you know, kind of they got jobs, and it was like, okay, we'll scrape up what's on the bottom of the floor and we're going to make a sausage out of it. And it uses like duck blood, I think.
Oh. What?
Oh no, it's duck blood soup. It might just be pork blood. Oh, it's a black sausage.
Still.
And there's like chunks of buckwheat, which is gluten-free, and like fat in the sausage. I'll eat it raw.
That sounds disgusting, but I'm happy
But
for
I feel like I'm 7 years old.
Yeah.
And we're at my grandma and grandpa's, like my dad's parents. It's like Christmas or something, and it's like we're making quiche. It was a treat.
Yes.
So I will make quiche Christmas morning when my mom and dad come over for breakfast, and I can't really find it here in Midland. I used to be able to get it at Jack's. They stopped carrying it randomly. So random. Where I get my Clausen pickles in Meyer, next to like the pickled bologna, I saw a random link of Kishka, Kowalski Kishka. Now, do I want Kowalski Kishka? No, that's like
Kowalski
getting like
was made in Bay City, right?
Yeah, but it's like getting like Oscar Mayer hot dogs, right?
Oh.
I mean, you grow up in Chicago, you go to a Polish butcher, and you're getting homemade Kishka.
Okay.
And then when we lived up north, I would go to the butcher in Gaylord, and that's the best Kishka I've ever had in my life. So I feel like I just need to go there.
But Kowalski, to give them a little break, they're local. They're
Are
Bay
they?
City. Yeah, it's not a national brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
All right. Benefit of the doubt. Really? Kowalski's like it's Bay City based?
It's like around here. It's not a national, like it's only
Okay. Because I tried to get Lalonde's to make it for me.
Oh.
And they don't have the certification to be able to put like the blood in the sausage.
Oh. Good.
So the guy was really sweet. He was like, hey, I'll make it for you without that. And it's not the same.
Oh. Okay.
It's not. But I mean, I love that he tried.
Yeah.
But
that's cool. That sounds gross.
Yeah.
The blood.
It's good. Chris won't eat it. And he'll pretty much eat anything.
Yeah.
Kylie loves it. And I think she loves it because my dad and I love it so much. I think that's why she loves it.
Yeah.
And then she's always like, can I have some more ketchup? She puts
Yeah.
ketchup on.
Let me douse it with his chemicals.
But when I cook it, you take the skin off and you like mash it down in the pan and you just wait for it to get like super crispy.
To get the blood out.
No, just to make it crispy. The blood's not going anywhere. I mean, there's not even enough fat in it where it's like cooking breakfast sausage. You know how you have to drain the fat? No, this is just literally, I don't even really know. I think it's pig. I think it's pork. I think. I should probably look. I have no idea.
Interesting.
But we had a Polish exchange student my senior year of high school. And when she found out we ate kishka, she was like, oh, really? What? And we're like, oh, yeah, we love kishka. You don't want, and she's like, no, I don't want this. But yeah. But then the neighborhood really started to go downhill. So all the Polish markets, they ended up like closing up.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Interesting.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. It's sort of like the bologna, back to bologna of America, right?
I think it's even worse for you than bologna.
Oh.
It's like,
because isn't bologna like the scraps too?
Here's the greatest thing. Are you Googling kishka right now? And it's you can't even sound it out because it's like KZW. Yeah.
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 A lot of consonants and no vowels.
Yeah.
It's pretty dark.
It is dark.
Gross.
I'll bring some in. We can like cook it up.
It's okay.
All right.
Good.
See, I love this. That's what we're
Are you
gonna
gonna do?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions? I don't either. I was not prepared.
Nope. No. You know what I want to know? I want to know what is the number one thing if someone were to say, what is the secret sauce that you have right now that for longevity and happiness, what would you tell them it's going to be? That's what I want to know.
Good relationships. Good
Yes.
people. Good people. So family, friends. Yeah, just good people surrounding you. I think that you have a person that you can call for whatever reason, or a person to lean on in different times, happiness and sad.
Yep.
And that's what makes the world go round for me.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. And I think if you surround yourself with your people who are the right people, and you're someone who's into, hey, I want to live like my best, not only authentic life, but healthy life.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to attract like-minded people.
Yeah.
So I know when I go to your house for dinner, I'm not getting chipped beef.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not getting something that is going to, now, when I say clog my arteries, I don't mean, because I have friends who make very beautiful, lovely, like hearty food, but they're not making it with garbage.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But, and do we enjoy our wine and our cocktails? Absolutely.
Yes.
But I feel like we balance our life very
it's all about
well.
balance.
So that's the number one thing. And, you know, if your kids are small, I'm so having a hard time with this. If your kids are small, embrace every single moment.
I know. It's true.
So-
I saw 2 little girls yesterday on our way home. We stopped to eat lunch, and they were, Randy's like, how old do you think they are? I was like, 2 and 4. Because they reminded me of my girls when they were 2 and 4. Like one, they were coloring. And I remember like I had friends who had boys and they were not coloring.
Yes.
You know, different things. But my girls would color
Yep.
and they would want to talk. And I was looking at this young mom thinking, oh,
Right?
it's going to go so fast.
Well, okay, so we've had Lisa Tarkington on the podcast
Yes.
before.
And
She
she
had her
just had her
baby,
baby.
right? And she does a lot of coaching for people here at Be Alive. So I'm in a meeting today, and someone's like, oh my God, I just got an email from Lisa. She's ready to, you know, do a meeting. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, pause the meeting. It was completely internal. We were not with external people. I texted her right away, and I was like, stop emailing people from here and, you know, doing
Go
coaching
enjoy your
sessions.
baby.
You nap and you hang that baby. And when am I coming over this week for baby snuggles?
Yeah.
Because I want all the baby snuggles. I've been told I can't keep all the kittens that are about to be.
What are you going to do with them?
I'm keeping one from each mom. Each mom gets to keep a baby.
Okay.
I'm standing firm on that.
But what are you going to do with the other ones?
I have a couple of neighbors that want cats. I will follow up with your neighbor myself to be like, I heard you might want a cat.
I kind of don't think she does at this point. Yeah.
So I'll be like, you know what? Can your girls just come over and entertain
Oh my
these
God.
kittens? That's
No.
what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, because
I'm gonna start inviting all these kids over.
You don't look at puppies. Like you don't go shopping for puppies.
No.
You come home with a puppy.
Evie is gonna be my biggest advocate. I'll pay her a commission. I'm gonna be like, when you're
She
babysitting,
babysits a lot of
you bring
kids.
those kids over.
Ooh, that could be part of it. Part of the tour.
Yep. So you'd be like, oh, we're just gonna stop by and visit my
guys wanna
friend.
see the new
They have little
cats?
kittens. And then I'm gonna
like
be
a
like,
petting
tell
zoo.
your mom you want a kitten.
Yeah. There you go. Easy peasy.
Well, and then there's that Cozy Cat Cafe in Sanford.
Oh.
So I'm gonna go there and be like, so what's the
Yeah.
criteria for?
And then also, do they take care of the cats?
I think so. I think the whole thing is it's for cat lovers, and you go and eat with cats. That is not appealing to me.
No.
Like our cats will come up on the patio. They do love to be loved. The first lot that we had, like if you were eating, they were all up in your business. These ones now, if you tell them to go away, they do. So, which is great. But yeah, so I'm gonna stop by the
that's a
Cozy
good
Cat
idea.
Cafe and see like what that option is. And you know what? I'll go to the Tractor Supply parking lot and sit with a box of free kittens.
They will be gone in a heartbeat. All
Right?
you have to do is advertise it on like Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like,
Free
I'm gonna be
kittens.
in the Tractor Supply parking lot.
People will definitely
Right?
adopt a kitty.
And mine are gonna be free. And I'm gonna be next to the lady who's
Wait, do
selling
they actually have people that sell them?
not cats but dogs.
Oh.
They sell dogs in the parking lot. I'll just go next to the lady who has like the golden doodles for $1,200.
Yeah.
And I'll sit next to her with my free kittens. And then when they're,
Two
dad's
fruits.
just going to get like bird seed and, something to change his oil.
You're like,
and all
"Would
of a
you
sudden
like a
it'd be like,
kitty?"
you should probably take a cat home with
Yeah.
you. You'll
How
be
many do we have to
mouse-free.
give away?
Well, right now I have 4 kittens from Ghost. So
But
she
the
only
other
gets
one's
to keep one.
She's about due.
Oh, so yeah, 2 is she big. I'm thinking she might have like 4 to 6 cats.
Okay.
And then Tig, I don't know, 1 or 2.
Okay.
I mean, she's not very big, and I don't think it's because she's not far along. I just think she's just not carrying a lot of cats. And she's a calico cat, and calicos are only female apparently. That I've learned that.
Oh.
But yeah, no. So, but if anybody wants a free kitten, I have some.
There you go.
Right? Hey, that's how I ended up with 3. One of my college sorority sisters was like, I'm getting rid of these kittens. And I'm like, you know what? We were talking about that for chipmunks and mice, like on our farm. So.
And now you have none.
And now I have none. Like my chipmunk problem is non-existent. And no like random birds, nothing like that. But I got rabbits eating my hostas in my backyard.
Do they not take care of the rabbits?
Oh, rabbits a bit like
They're bigger.
I have giant cottontails like in my yard. Like
So
they're
what are you
huge.
talking about? You need like
They're like the same size as like
a
my
cujo.
cats.
What do we need?
Yeah.
Hawk.
Yeah, I do need a hawk.
You could get a hawk
Something with
farm.
some talons.
Yes.
Oh my God, like the bird when we were in Mexico, or like on Sirens. Maybe I should start like a bird sanctuary.
Oh my God. What was that bird that crashed into her window?
I think it's the same kind of like hawk situation that was in Mexico.
Yeah,
that I like
that's gross.
almost like ran into the lady and he was like wearing a helmet.
They're like, please no outside food or drinks. And then they have a hawk in the buffet line.
Yeah. I know, and you weren't supposed
Sanitary.
to take pictures of it. Chris has a picture of
Yeah,
it. If I
sanitary.
can find it,
It's
bloop,
awesome.
it will go here.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
All right.
All right. Well,
cheers
we'll see you next
to
week.
week 1 of empty nesting.
I know. God. So now we have no kids in school. It's just like we just have college students.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. They need to find something to do though.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Free
Well, hopefully
passes
they
all
still want to hang out with us.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
peace. See you next week.